Hello. So 3 years ago, I started studying your material, and it was mainly to cure myself of mental illness, which pretty much has been done, and now I have to, get a job. So when I contemplate that, the mental illness kind of creeps. And it's amazing because this is the first time I'm actually feeling inspired and really connecting and feeling so good. But I really just want to be general. I mean, I got back from the cruise in August, which was awesome, by the way. And all I wanted to do was hike. I mean, every day for hours. That's what I do. And I'm like, that's not very responsible, So I have this responsible voice. But usually I just have fun. And I know that there has to be some sort of practicality. So,
well, is it one or the other? In other words, is there responsible or fun? Can it not be both?
Fun responsibility?
What does responsibility mean to you? Doing things you don't want to do?
I guess.
Well, then maybe we need a new word or a new definition of that word.
Yes.
Because as we've been visiting with you here today, can you insert the word responsible into any of the things that we've been talking about? Are you the creator of your own reality?
Yes.
Therefore, are you responsible for what comes?
Yes.
So the word creator and responsibler, I'm the creator of my own reality. I'm responsible for what comes to me. And there's freedom in that because that means no one else or nothing else is. So if you put it into that context, maybe it will work better for you. Because we have to say to you that nothing is more fun than to have creative control of your own experience. And that has to be the quintessential definition for responsibility.
I guess I'm not sure. I feel as if I had another year, I could easily line up with forming my own. It's going to have to be something I form out of nothing. I'm very, I don't know what you could call it, specific about what I like to do, and it's varied. And so it's not like I can just look up a want ad.
Well, what do you generally like to do?
Communicate. I love to communicate, and anything expressively, creatively, anything communication-wise.
Well, there's nothing like that going on in this world today. So
I guess I just don't. It's just hitting me that you just have to claim it. You just have to decide I'm awesome enough for people to come listen to me. How do you just decide that? I mean, how do you just shape your reality any way you want it? Is that how it works? Awesome.
And we think that there are a lot of people who would like to hear your version of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially since you were crazy. And we hope still are in many regards. Yeah. You have a lot to say. But meanwhile, what's the urgency?
Okay, so I had a chunk of money, and it could have been used for retirement, and I chose to use it to get into alignment and figure out what life's about. And so my logical brain says, well, when is the chunk dwindled enough that you need to do action to replace it? You know what I mean? So it's just about trusting that it'll unfold perfect timing, and sometimes I just don't trust it.
Well, it is that. It is about that. So can you go general enough to do that?
Yes. Sometimes. Often I can go general enough to do that.
And have you been hearing enough people already here today who have been talking about inspiration flowing to them? In other words, we've been talking about this all day already, haven't we? So where it gets uncomfortable for you is when you try to conjure or define specific behavior that you will offer in exchange for dollars. It breaks down really fast when you do that because there are so many things that you've already decided that you don't want to do that you feel that you would have to do in order to do those things. And so that's not the way we would approach it. We would stay in that general place. So do you believe, generally speaking, that things work out for you?
Yes.
And do you believe that you have lived enough life experience to define who you are and what you want to do?
Yes.
And do you believe that you have put enough into the vortex to keep you busy for a while?
Yes.
And do you believe that some of what's in the vortex has already been flowing into you?
Yes.
And do you see any reason for it to stop?
No, what happens is since I've goosed up my energy, I get indicators that are more dramatic in the opposite direction, which makes me doubt that, I'm going the right way because things roadblocks, injuries, whatever, have happened the past 6 months to an astonishing degree. So I'm like, wow, I might not be on the right path. So I don't want to think that I'm deluding myself.
We think that you spoke to that in your opening words, because you described yourself as having just enough disability to give you justification for not doing things that you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. And you're still producing just enough disability to justify in your own mind not having to do things that you don't want to do.
Yes.
And there's no limit to that. In other words, as long as you need that justification, those justifications will continue to come, just like everything you want comes. You just have to decide if justification in that way is what you're looking for. And sometimes you have to have a little bit of it before you decide that you want something different. We think that you can clearly define what you want, and we don't think that it is required to be really specific. We think you can continue to hold yourself in that general place. If you want to, we are happy to visit with you about it. Do you want to?
Yes.
So, you begin.
Okay, I am fascinated with metaphysics and self-empowerment, especially regarding women, especially regarding body image, self-esteem, claiming yourself as being powerful and independent if you've never seen yourself as that way before.
Her words are really good, aren't they? And do you believe that there are people who are seeking what you already know?
Yes.
Do you think that you are going to be difficult to find?
In what way?
Do you think it will be difficult for them to find you and you to find them?
A little bit, because I like to spend my time by myself. That's the thing. I really like being alone. It's easy to maintain vibration that's higher when I'm alone.
And so you're wanting to get together with women who, for the most part, cannot be by themselves. And you're going to teach them to get rid of their families and their responsibilities. In other words, what are you going to teach them?
I know. I don't know.
Well, think about it a little bit. What message do you have for them? Because do you believe that it is logical for people to just walk away from everything that they've amassed around them?
No.
And so what's another alternative? What do you do if you cannot stop the action that your life has come to require in order to find your alignment? What's an alternative?
You label your situation differently. You look at it differently. You feel better about what's going on because you put yourself in a different perspective.
So is it possible for you to be around people and maintain your alignment, or is it necessary that your alignment would be lost in the integration with others?
I can do it. I've been doing it more and more.
Yeah. So, well, you just answered every question that is important to us relative to what you were asking about. So now, the next, well, there is another question. Is it possible to do that in joy?
Yes.
So, what is it about hiking that you like so much?
There's something about the movement. Nature is very soothing, but
why?
Why? There's no contrasting vibration there. It's just the creator.
Well, none that you can see.
None that I can see. Yes.
So when you get out there, your expectation that it won't disrupt your energy causes you to attract the cooperative components.
Yes.
Is it possible to do that? Do you have to escape into, where do you go? Where do you hike?
Here.
But where?
Where? On the trails.
On the trails.
At the Biltmore State.
So,
or Mount Pisgah.
So as you're hiking out there, are you saying to us that all of nature has been pre-assigned to be cooperative with you?
No.
We visited with a man here not long ago who met a bear on the trail.
I was about to say I've seen 2 bears in the past month, very close.
And so they were not disruptive to your energy?
They were slightly disruptive to my energy, yes.
And have you hiked since?
Yes. And now I think of bears more, yeah.
Well, the reason that we're asking this is because we think that you can hike in all kinds of conditions, and that it is the vibrational preparation of your grid that is important, but it comes in a different way than you think. You've been believing, and a lot of people do, that the environment is the reason for the way you feel. And we want you to turn that around to come to know the way you feel is the reason for your environment. Because you can control your environment. You can control the aspects of environment that you rendezvous with. But until you know that, then you can't. And so you sort of take what comes to you. And most people are offering a pretty sloppy vibration. So they get in return a pretty sloppy response. But think about the components that are present when you get out there to hike. What preparation of the grid do you do? What's going on in your mind? I'm going to have a wonderful time. I expect it to be wonderful. I believe in the harmony of nature. I know that only wonderful things are out there for me to participate in. You used words like you like the peacefulness of it and the simplicity of it and the pureness of it. But you see, you don't do that when you walk on the trail of normal life. Then you do a different sort of prepaving. Most of you do. A sort of tense prepaving. But you get to set the tone of what you expect, no matter what trail it is that you are embarking upon. And we got to tell you, it's going to be, hundreds of times more rewarding to you when you get out into this more populated trail and you discover how purely you are able to manage, orchestrate is even a better word, the rendezvousing that happens with you on that trail.
I just keep caring what people think. I care about how I feel most of the time above all else. And then when I'm around people, I start to care what they think.
All people?
Most people.
So...
Not the people I know well. And
because?
The people I know well and know that they embrace me despite or because of my eccentricities. I feel safe around them.
So... in order to feel safe in an environment, and you didn't really scope out those bears, did you?
What do you mean, scope out those bears?
You didn't put them through a personality profile.
No.
In other words, you just encountered them.
Yes.
Had your experience with them. Did you worry about what they thought about you?
No. Well, whether or not I look tasty.
She looks delicious.
Yeah.
She's too small to eat. Let's wait for a bigger one. So, well, the reason that we're asking is because we know that you have a pure expectation from nature. And the reason that you are not as positively expectant of humans is because you found them to be untrustworthy in those regards, because everyone you encounter is not tuned in to who they are, and so everyone is not uplifting, everyone is not lovely, everyone is not looking for your positive aspects. And most people have trained themselves to care about the feedback that they get from other people. But it is a very treacherous course. We see why you would seek one that is less populated, because if how people feel about you is important to you, then you have a lot of indoctrinating to do. In other words, you need a team of people out there ahead of you, letting everyone know that you are a nice one coming through. Or you have to prepare your grid and achieve vibrational alignment with who you really are, so that you are radiating an energy stream ahead of you. It is an energy entourage that moves out ahead of you and clears out the clutter of anything that is not a vibrational match with who you are and what you're wanting to experience. It is that way, you see. You'll hear much more about this preparation of the grid, and we think that you already understand it. But in the context of what we've just been talking about with you specifically, when you hear us say, we want you to prepare your grid before you go out into the day. So what might you be off to do where you might have the experience of encountering others, where it could be a good experience or a bad experience? What kinds of things do you do pretty regularly?
Well, the basics of, I get massages regularly and get my hair cut, things like that.
Other than that, you don't go out?
No, I mean, I go out, I do like 5 rhythms dances, and there's an Abraham group that I, listen to Abraham.
And do you ever encounter strangers?
Yes.
And where are they likely to be? On the street?
Stores, trails, yeah.
So the grocery store is a good... So you're on your way to the grocery store, and do you decide that you are going to just move through quickly and just get the responsible stuff done as quickly as you can? Or do you look at it in the way that you look at going out on the trail in nature as an opportunity to co-create with lovely life? Have you ever considered it in that way? The trail,
sometimes.
Yes. The grocery store, not so much.
Right.
And yet the grocery store is alive with potential rendezvous.